Oba Femi just told the whole world exactly what he did to Brock Lesnar, and nobody is ready. If you're new here, smash that like button and subscribe. We don't miss a single thing. Because what went down backstage at Madison Square Garden on the 4th of April 2026 was not an accident. It was not a miscommunication. It was not some random brawl that got out of hand. What happened at MSG was a calculated, cold-blooded statement, and Oba Femi has now stepped in front of the cameras and explained every single second of it with zero remorse, zero hesitation, and absolutely zero fear. And if that doesn't make your blood boil, you are not paying attention. Let's set the scene because context is everything here. Madison Square Garden, the most iconic arena in professional wrestling history, the same building where legends were made and careers were buried. The same building where Brock Lesnar has walked in as one of the most physically dominant forces this industry has ever produced. The Beast, the Conqueror, the man who has broken bodies and shattered spirits for over 2 decades. And on the 4th of April 2026, Brock Lesnar walked into MSG expecting to do what he always does, dominate, destroy, and walk out on top. He didn't walk out. And now we know exactly why. Oba Femi, in what can only be described as one of the most chilling and arrogant post-incident interviews in recent WWE memory, sat down and detailed the entire sequence of events with a level of calm that should genuinely terrify every single person on that roster. He didn't yell. He didn't brag in the conventional sense. He simply explained it like a chess player recounting a match against an amateur, like a king reviewing a battle he knew he was always going to win. According to Femi, it started hours before the show even began. While Lesnar was doing what veterans do, moving through the building, establishing presence, reminding the locker room who the alpha was, Oba Femi was watching, studying, mapping every corridor, every exit, every blind spot in that backstage labyrinth at MSG. Because here's what separates Oba Femi from every other young talent on that roster: he doesn't just show up to compete, he shows up to conquer. And conquering requires preparation that most people simply aren't willing to do. How many WWE championships has Brock Lesnar won throughout his entire career? Drop your answer in the comments below. Let's see who really knows their history. Now here's where it gets truly infuriating, because if you're a Brock Lesnar supporter, what Oba Femi described next is going to make you absolutely furious. Femi revealed that when Lesnar confronted him backstage, and apparently, Brock approached him first, not the other way around, Lesnar made the mistake of treating Oba Femi like just another kid. Another body, another name on a list of people he's run through over the years. Lesnar allegedly got in Femi's face and delivered the kind of intimidation tactic that has made grown men back down for years. The stare, the sighs, the silence that says "I will destroy you" and feel nothing. Oba Femi smiled. And that smile, according to people who were backstage and witnessed this, is what sent Brock Lesnar over the edge. Because Lesnar is not used to being smiled at. Lesnar is used to compliance. He is used to deference. He is used to people suddenly remembering they have somewhere else to be when he walks through a hallway. And this 20-something Nigerian powerhouse, this ruler who has been quietly dismantling every barrier placed in front of him since the moment he arrived in WWE, stood there and smiled like he'd been waiting for this moment his entire life. What followed was chaos. The physical confrontation that erupted in that backstage corridor was described by multiple sources as one of the most violent non-scripted moments in recent WWE history. We're not talking about a pull-apart brawl where everyone just makes noise and waits for referees to get between them. We're talking about a genuine collision of 2 wrecking balls, and when it was over, it was Brock Lesnar who needed medical attention. It was Brock Lesnar who was seen on a stretcher being loaded into a medical vehicle outside the arena. And it was Oba Femi who walked back into that building, straightened his jacket, and went about his night like nothing happened. The footage of Kofi Kingston, yes, Kofi was backstage nearby during the early stages of the incident, looking visibly shaken, says everything you need to know about the temperature in that building after it went down. Kofi Kingston is a veteran of this industry. He has seen things. He does not rattle easily. And he looked rattled. Now, WWE's official position has been carefully worded, as it always is when reality bleeds into the performance. Statements about an altercation being investigated and talent welfare being the top priority tell you everything and nothing at the same time. But Oba Femi didn't wait for WWE to craft a narrative. He got ahead of it. He sat down, looked directly into that camera, and said, "And I want you to understand the weight of these words. I told everyone exactly who I am from day one." Brock Lesnar found out what everyone else is eventually going to find out. The ruler doesn't make room. The ruler takes it. Read that again. He is not sorry. He is not concerned. He is announcing that this was a preview, not a finale. What was the name of Oba Femi's finishing move that he used to dominate the NXT roster before his main roster call-up? Comment below. And here is the part of this story that the mainstream WWE coverage is completely sleeping on, because the MSG incident doesn't exist in a vacuum. This is not an isolated moment of young talent getting overzealous. This is the continuation of a very deliberate campaign by Oba Femi to establish himself as the undisputed apex predator of the WWE main roster. Think about the trajectory. Think about how methodically he has moved through every obstacle. Think about who he has looked at and who he has deliberately ignored, because the people Oba Femi ignores are almost more telling than the ones he targets. He has not once looked in the direction of the mid-card. He has not positioned himself as a future contender or a rising star. From the moment he arrived on the main roster, Oba Femi has presented himself as the standard, not something that measures up to the standard, but the thing everything else gets measured against. That arrogance, that absolute unshakable belief in his own dominance, is either going to make him the greatest WWE champion of his generation, or it is going to paint an enormous target on his back that every single legend and main event player is going to line up to shoot at. And with Brock Lesnar now reportedly furious, and we have heard through channels that the Beast is not taking this quietly, that there are conversations happening at the highest levels of WWE about what comes next between these two, the question is no longer if there will be a response. The question is what form that response takes and whether Oba Femi can actually back up every single word he has said when Lesnar comes back with everything he has. Because Brock Lesnar on a revenge mission is a different animal entirely. We have seen what this man does when he is embarrassed. We have seen what happens when his pride gets touched in a way that goes beyond professional competition into something deeply personal. Roman Reigns found out. CM Punk found out. And now Oba Femi has deliberately, consciously, gleefully poked the most dangerous bear in WWE history. The MSG backstage chaos was not the end of this story. It was the opening sentence of a chapter that is going to reshape Monday Night Raw's entire power structure. One man's throne is burning. Another man's crown is being fitted. And the entire WWE universe is standing at the edge of something genuinely historic or genuinely catastrophic, depending entirely on which side of this you're standing on. Oba Femi has spoken. Brock Lesnar's silence right now is deafening, and ringside backstage news will be right here when the explosion happens. Don't forget to drop your trivia answers in the comments, share this video with every WWE fan you know, and if you are not subscribed yet, what are you even doing? Hit that subscribe button right now. The ruler has spoken. Have you?